choir, I'd like to announce that Timo Golnick, one of our exchange students who is from Salzgitter, Germany, has his parents with him here from Salzgitter, and we like to welcome them. And in addition to that, Jacek Bach, mother, is here from Poland, and we like to welcome her as well. And additionally, there are a few announcements. Number one is that Gersick Studios will be taking photos of each graduate tonight as their names are being called. And each family, each student will be able to purchase those, and the information relative to that will be with your students. NPTV, North Penn Television, Channel 16, will present on June 24th, beginning at 8 a.m., set your videos. Senior awards, reflections, and graduation will be on Channel 16, starting at 8 a.m. on June 24th, and it will be aired again on June 26th and 27th at 8 a.m. And now our national anthem, followed by the Northman High School alma mater.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare amongst the singing air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? As night to in the olden times would pledge their loyalty to keep their honor shining and ever true to be, we enter here at North Penn High with hearts resolved to dare our noblest aim to bring to fame our alma mater there.
Please be seated. This evening is a time of joyful celebration and a time of quiet reflection. It's a time for listening and is a time for applauding. Let us be sure to keep these times separate. Respect for the seriousness of the occasion, as well as the euphoria of this incredible class of 1995. And we're going to ask for your cooperation because we're not sure just what might happen weather-wise this evening. And I don't want to become a statistic here, so we're going to move through this program as quickly as we can, at the same time not have it lose any of the dignity that it deserves. Prior to the beginning of our program with our superintendent, I'd ask that we pause for a moment of silence in memory of our teacher, friend, and class advisor, Mr. Howard Lassen, and your classmate, Joshua Mark Nielsen. A moment, please. Thank you very much. Dr. Persin.
Thank you, Dr. Bond. Congratulations to you, the class of 1995, to the parents, the grandparents, and to all of your friends. I hope you will take the rest of your life, when you have the opportunity to seize the moment, and take a path that was less worn by others. I hope that you will follow the example sometimes of a very humble animal, the turtle. Behold the turtle. He only makes progress when he sticks his neck out. Thank you.
Tom's a man of many words. Excuse me. On behalf of the Board of School Directors, I congratulate you on your commencement. I'll bet that back in October, you wouldn't have, when you were doing the first installment on your summer vacation, that you didn't think this day might never come. But it has. And you've made it, and you'll carry many of the memories with you for your entire life that you made here at North Penn. As a school board director, we never really get to fully see the results of the programs we put in place. But one night this year, you students showed me that taking all the grief that I do on the school board was worth it. I saw many of you, and I was proud of the caring, sharing, and concerned young adults you've become. The tragic death of your class advisor and teacher, Howard Lassen, was a time when you collectively and individually showed your mettle and how your character had matured. I know that he touched many of your lives in one way or another. I would hope that you forever remember Howard Lassen and the example he gave you for living. So enjoy life and continue to show that outstanding character that the North Penn class of 1995 possesses. Work hard, and I don't think I need to remind you guys to have a little fun along the way. Thanks. Congratulations.
Welcome, friends, families, faculty, staff members, and fellow graduates to the 1995 commencement ceremony. Tonight we sit here as high school students, members of the ever-growing North Penn family. But in only a few short moments, when we enter the world, we will become legendary. I say legendary because for one to be legendary, one must be heroic and touch the lives of others in an extraordinary way. As we walk away tonight, we must remember that each one of us has made a lasting impression on someone's life. Whether a neighbor, a friend, a brother or sister, or even someone who is merely an acquaintance, we have influenced these people in a way that no one else ever will. The poem entitled Footprints explores the idea of how we all leave our imprints in the sands of time, meaning that all of us use our knowledge in a way that has an impact on those around us. Within ourselves, we each have the power of prominence. Although we may not always feel as if our individual contribution to the world is significant, we must keep reminding ourselves of the brilliant smiles and laughter that we have shared with those we know, and realize that we have made a difference in their lives, even if only by brightening their day. As we now move on to another level, we do not have to worry about the future. There are and will always be marks to be made. What we have to remember, though, is that we have become who we are because of the imprints that those who care about us have already made on our lives. So thank you, Dr. Vaughn, school board members, Mrs. Lassen, Mrs. Kratz, Dr. Verlanda, faculty, staff members, and all who have given us the skills to grow into what we have and will become. And a special thank you to Mr. Howard Lassen, without whom this class would have not made it this far. In the words of President Kennedy, let forth from time and place, to friend and foe alike, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans. As each one of us leaves here tonight, with a certain dignity and pride, realize that the world does not stop for us. We are the ones that must take the time to make our lives unforgettable. In other words, legendary. Thank you. Welcome and good evening, parents, friends, faculty, administrators, and fellow classmates. Graduates, this is our finest hour. For the past 12 or 13 years, we have climbed this great mountain. Now, as the rocks slip out from under our feet, the time has come to take flight. In the poet Shelley's Ode to a Skylark, the bird takes off, like ourselves in this stadium, in the golden lightning of the sunken sun, and singing still doth soar. Standing on the peak, saluting the great, wide open, we are celebrating all we have gained from North Penn, but we must be ready to soar up high enough to find a new mountain to scale. As a student who thrives on mathematics and sciences, I have learned the benefits of the logical and practical ways of scaling the mountain. Understanding integrals and calculus and comprehending methods of genetic drift in biology required the reasoning skills I developed in the early days of my ascent. But recently I have learned that logic and practicality are not enough to complete the climb. Creativity and passion, found in so many media, dance and painting, music, poetry, and drama, inspire the climber to risk taking flight. I have learned that this passionate fire can also spark our simplest of actions, such as expressing our inner thoughts or acting upon our ideals inside and outside of the classroom. Like the skylark, carefree and innocent, this is our time to soar higher still and higher from the earth like a cloud of fire. Whether this flame shines into the openness constantly or only flickers and flashes for brief, brilliant moments, we must keep our fire burning so that we can see others and ourselves more clearly. Finally, classmates, this is the most ideal opportunity for all of us to take a risk and stretch out farther than we ever would have before. Our responsibility is to take flight, wingless at first, sustained only by our own fire of creativity. In the next few years, we need to use the knowledge and confidence we have gained from North Penn to work at school or at home to promote cultural awareness and hinder sexism. In the years after, we must use that same fire for other causes, such as helping those suffering from the frightening consequences of heart disease or instilling a new faith in Americans by educating the young in ways that textbooks cannot. Ray Bradbury, the science fiction writer, said, "If we only listened to our intellect, we'd never have a love affair. We'd never have a friendship. We'd never go into business because we'd be cynical." Graduates, heed his warning. We have got to leap forward on impulse and build our wings mid-flight, using our common sense. Soar now while you are still free and have the ability to make decisions without the burden and responsibilities that others will soon place on you. Soar now, enjoy the open, embrace your creativity, and begin to build with your logic, because the wings that result will be what will support you during your flight and your attempts to reach the goals you have set for yourself. For if we can learn to fly like the skylark, the world should listen then to all our voices. Members of the class of 1995, I wish you the best. Welcome, administrators, faculty, family, friends, and graduating seniors to the commencement of the class of 1995. When I was younger, as soon as the evening sky began to dim and the first star peeked out from her mystical hiding place, I would close my eyes tightly and say, "Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have this wish, I wish tonight." My dreams were wrapped up in those stars, dependent on them for life and life. The dream I felt was too big to accomplish or too far to reach for could be called on by those words, that prayer on the star. Throughout the years, I have called on that first star in hope, in fear, and sometimes in desperation, but always in search of a dream. But if the road is so rough, why reach for the star? In the way of an answer, I would now like to read excerpts from a short essay written by Theodore Roosevelt entitled, "Are You Strong Enough to Handle Critics?" He writes, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, who at worst, if he fails while daring greatly, knows his place shall never be with those timid and cold souls who know neither victory nor defeat. How easy it is to be one of those timid and cold souls. How easy it is to stay home, to not get up and speak your mind, to not take that leap, to not risk ridicule and the sting of defeat. I remember when I was in 4th grade, my math teacher, Mrs. Rodman, was famous for one of her sayings. In class, whenever she gave the answer to a problem, for example, a 2 times 2 equals 4, invariably at least a few students whined, "I got 3. Isn't that close enough?" She would look at us, smile, and say, "Close only wins in horseshoes." A lifetime of almost and maybes is not the path to fulfillment. How can you expect to reach your star unless you give all of yourself in all that you do? The world is such a complex place, with every day a trial and endless quest for truth and understanding, happiness and fulfillment. Then where does that leave us as graduating seniors, beginning on our own life journey? This challenge can be met with what we have learned here in our years at North Penn, from our teachers and in the classroom, from our friends and in our activities, and from our family. Mr. Gerhardt, my 10th grade world cultures teacher, always said, "When you graduate from here, you may not remember the capital of Zaire or who the president of Italy was in 1932, but you will know how to work with others, how to be yourself, how to learn." I would like to close with the words of the late Adlai Stevenson II, a famous politician. These words come from an honorable man, a man who was ridiculed for his radical ideas and kept from leadership by those who feared the unknown. He was told that he thought too much, and so he responded with action, using his thoughts as a springboard for his life. Keep his words in mind as you travel on your way, as you reach with every fiber of your being for those dreams. At the end of each day, look up at that first star and wish upon it, but then take it upon yourself to make it come true. A wish is a dream just born, so make your wishes and live your dreams. In the words of Stevenson, "Your days are short here. This is the last of your springs. And now in the serenity and quiet of this lovely place, touch the depths of truth, feel the hem of heaven. You will go away with old good friends, and don't forget when you leave why you came."
Good evening. We are a class of dreamers. We have spent our lives constructing our dreams in the clouds of our tomorrows. As we march into this commencement, completing the long path of 13 years of education, our dreams are still before us. Many of us are about to enter new fields, breaking social and technical barriers that had restrained many who have gone before us. These new paths have led us in pursuit of a new life based upon our personal aspirations. Henry David Thoreau advises dreamers, "If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now, put the foundations under them." The time has come to end our focus on what lies ahead and concentrate on what lies above. We have acquired the skills to build our place in this world, to go into our own destinies, equipped with the knowledge we have painstakingly gleaned from experience. All of us have built castles in the air out of our dreams, some lavish, others Spartan, but they are our aspirations for the future, dreams that define us. Each of you has your own design for your own future. Your blueprint for the future is a castle built in the silver clouds of your hopes. Now is the time to realize those dreams. Now is the time to inhabit that castle. Our castle's foundations will not be concrete and steel. Rather, they will be formed of diligence and integrity. Any great castle can be founded upon these attributes. We have experienced setbacks and will continue to have difficult years, but we will not give up on our castles. Diligence ensures that our dreams will become tomorrow's reality. We have been besieged with stormy images of a turbulent world, a world we are about to inherit. This environment is not the world of our castles, but we can rebuild it with bricks of peace and prosperity if we are true to our dreams. Never relinquish control of your destiny. Never let go of your castles. We cannot sacrifice our identities to the idols of wealth. Integrity is our sole guardian against the corruption of our castles. We will construct new cities of ideas, new streets of information. We will build spires upon our castles in the clouds, towers that will herald the way to a new future, our future.
I'd like to thank Dr. Persing and Mr. Bowman for their remarks, and a special thank you to the president of the class, Patricia Kieselhorst, our three valedictorians, Karen Callahan, Rebecca Casper, and Daniel McCarter, for their fine, fine words. And as we prepare to salute the class of 1995 individually, I'd like to take this opportunity to have you and to have them salute themselves collectively, the class of 1995. There's something that tells me that we have about 38 minutes left, and we're going to do this in 38 minutes with your cooperation. To that end, I would ask that the class advisors, Mrs. Kratz and Mrs. Lassen, join me at the microphone, and that Dr. Berlando, assistant principal for the class of 1995, Dr. Persing, Mr. Bowman, and Dr. Fike, Director of Secondary Education, join me as we salute individually the class of 1995.
Carolyn Jean LeBold. Jacob M. Hartman. Kelly Ann Landis. Jeremy T. Harp. Brian C. Kosak. Brian Paul Haywood. Carl Eric Kralik. Denise Marie Hartman. Eric Alexander Klutzman. Carrie Ann Hawkins. Peter Hawkins Lander. Audrey Parker Heinel. David Scott Kincaid. Christine Elizabeth Hansen. Christopher Kleingunther. Aaron M. Hazelbarth. Gina Kyle. Michelle Hackett. Angela Maria Leach. Allison Regina Hall. Mary Kathleen Lawn. Darren Scott Harkins. Nicole Mary LaRose, Stephanie Lee Haas, Jeffrey B. Kraft, Gwendolyn D. Hendricks, Amy Lee Lagrada, Richard Carlton Haslam Jr., Jason Michael Connect, Donna Marie Hanna, Keith Allen Coons, Amy Lynn Hartranft, David Joseph LaSorsa, Matthew D. Hartzman, Nicole Lee Barton, John Jacob Becker,
Hello.
Jody Lynn Babst, Thomas Blackwell III, Anthony Adams, Ashley Elizabeth Bates, Trevor Allen, Amy Beth Bean, Robert Barnes, Yvette Nikita Blakesley, Joel Michael Barron, Etienne Baptiste Bourgeois, Zachary H. D. Appleton, Dante Battistini, Karen Angelicchio, Kevin Bennett, Eric Crum, Thomas A. Bowen, Lisa Ann Kluger, Melina M. Bennett, Jamie Elizabeth Kroc, Sarah Bell, Carol Ann Karosky, Nicole Marie Bennett, Amy Michelle Crum, Dennis Hahn, Joseph Anthony Kulik, Ian Martin Hall, Christy Marie Leach, Martin Ross Hale Jr., Allison Carol Bailey, Jason Howard Harbeck, Andrea Bala, Un Jong Susan Ha, Rachel Lynn Baker, Michael J. Morelli, Robert James Averett, Benjamin Scott Lupin, Michael Francis Austin, John Joseph Burkheiser, John Patrick Barada, Robert Bourne, Rupal Harshad Amin, Russell D. Bendler, Tandra Nicole Arcade, Jennifer Chelsea Blasiak, Heather Marie Antunes, Allegra Joy Borneman, Ronnie John Akawi, Kevin Berg, Kimberly Ann Alstadt, Aaron Michael Bodenschott, Victoria Annalyn, Catherine Ann Bishop, Nana Addo, Erin Michelle Beagle, Sarah Marie Allen, Christine Ann Bowser, Amy Lynn Abronsky, Karen J. Bemke, Nathaniel E. Barwell, Heather Kathleen Blackerby, Mitchell Martinez, Dawn Elizabeth Blackledge, Jennifer Lynn Marshall, Kimberly Dawn Bilo, Leanne Marie McCain, Aaron L. Kirstein, Christopher M. McCarthy, Beth Pulaski, Aaron Lee McCloskey, Anjali R. Parekh, Laura Virginia Mercig, Mark Allen Shoemaker, Megan Eileen McMunn, Elizabeth Caliendo Bartlett, John S. Mercury, Jennifer Ann Della Pietra, Carrie Lee McIntyre, Renee Ann Ramsey, Richard E. Miles, Jeffrey Albert Grabish, Stephen George Marino, Nicholas Paul Pace, Jason Robert McCarty, William David Yarnell, Joan Sandra McVeigh, Jeffrey David Cantwell, Christopher M. McGeehan, Brian Michael Zagoritsky, Robert George McKenney, Laura Nancy Overture, Jacqueline Nicole Richmond, Christine Michelle Spalding, Tracy Jean Reese, Colleen Michelle Lesher, Jennifer Ann Ryan, Brian Peter Busby, Erin Kate Rudolph, Jeffrey Kevin McKenna, Kimberly Ann Ryan, Thomas Anthony Tucci, Matthew Joseph Ryan, Rebecca Michelle Casper, Jonathan C. Rutledge, Michael Gregory Keithley, Brett William Riffert, Tara Lynn Kelly, Tiffany Fawn Rosenberger, Sarah Ellen Kime, Michelle Louise Renner, Christine Suzanne Katrinik, Justine E. Reynolds, Stephen Scott Katz, Kenneth Lawrence Rhodes III, Stephen Douglas Keller, Stuart Andrew Marjoram, So Yan Kim, Marjorie Ann McHugh, Myung Soo Kim, Erin Siobhan McNally, Audrey Elizabeth Kerwood, Donald Christopher Mignonia, Edward Sung Kim, Jeffrey Paul McGuigan, Rebecca Heron Kim, Kirsten Louise Maskell, Stephen Kyung Jin Kang, Heidi Joy Brown, Jamie Meredith Wynn, Elizabeth Ann Bueller, Elizabeth Ann Workman, Jason Robert Burns, Michael Lee Cope, Jessica Lee Canesso, Eric G. Clausen, Maki Sahara, Danny Chu, Charles T. Rowe Jr., Sean Edward Conway, Corey J. Ruby, Anthony Joseph Chu, Stephen Samuel Rinker, Deborah Ann Clark, Ronald B. Richard Jr., Seth Cameron Clayton, Keith Lawrence Roberts, Vincent Anthony Crisafulli, Robert Paul Russo, David William Cox, Kelly Lynn Rezadek, Timothy Michael King, Philip James Riccio, Heather Marie Kelly, Nathan William Runkle, Douglas Matthew Cox, Julius Rocco, Alan R. Kernan Jr., Paul Francis Rossi, Sonia M. Karumsi, Christine Marie Casella, Andrea Lee Capusta, Britt Marie Carpenter, Samir Karumsi, Patricia Caladonato, John Hobart Finnis Jr., Nicholas Francis Carita, Harrison M. Colcher, Andrea Marie Carbone, Robert E. Cavanaugh III, Hugh David Brown, Lisa Elizabeth Coughlin, Joshua Daniel Brandell, Sarah Melissa Cook, Christopher Campbell, Christopher Curley, Chad Edward Camburn, Kelly Corcoran, Kathleen Marie Brish, Jennifer J. Curran, Sandra Lynn Brish, Angela May Cook, Christina Denise Carlton, Erin Patricia Cooney, Fabio Caruso, Christopher Michael Cupid, Robert Clayton Campbell, Brian Todd Cole, Aaron Carver, Kelly Melissa Clark, Joseph Charles Wampole, Catherine Cooney, Timothy M. Walsh, Stacy Ann Cooper, Ann Jennifer Wang, Andrea Nicole Clunk, Robert Dennis Wall, Jody Rebecca Cressman, Jesse Brandon Wagner, Brian Thomas, Derek Russell Wall, Christopher William Thompson. Beth Michelle Ward. Michelle Nicole Sumler. Angela Selena Vargas. Nancy Jane Thorne. Putulan Vong Prachan. Teresa Tui Tong Trong. Michelle Lynn Wagner. Joanna Aldona Tansky. Donna Marie Wampole. Kevin Scott Taylor. Taryn Christine Vasquez. Mark John Thompson. Cami Lee Tybring. Cynthia Ruth Tucker. Emil Alexander Voss. Jonathan David Taylor. Karen Michelle Vasey. Robert John Stroy. Brian Joseph Burke. Stephanie Ann Strobel. Rosario Victor Bucafuri. Beth Rachel Zoika. Charles Bernard Budd Jr. Daniel Robert Swangler. Alina Yun Kyung Pak. John David Swider. Jung Hee Park. Terrence N. Tacker Jr. John David Paquette. Darrell Robert Turner. William Ortiz. Daniel George McCarter. Dennis O'Connell. Rebecca Allison Haupt. Brenda Lynn Oakes. Alyssa Jean Clementi. Jean O. Lynn Michelle Krebs. Louis Anthony Vitiello. Timothy Joseph Ferguson. Viensanith Vong Prachan. Benjamin Kendrick Sprose. John Joseph Vencius. Andrea Lane Haston. Matthew Paul Wojciech. Joseph Milton Beal. George G. Turner III. Lisa Michelle Zobello. Joseph Mark Vogel. Amy Regina Clotter. Catherine Grace Uraduro Rojas. Heather Ann Brown. Sheila Marie Oliver. Rebecca Ann Sutters. Michelle Catherine Paul. Christian Thompson. Beth Janae Orr. Jason Michael Tomczyk. Stephen Michael Pedrozani. Jennifer Tittle. David Y. Pack. Jeffrey J. Tully. Catherine Marie Oroz. Jeremy David Tucker. Uriah Lehigh Orland. Robert A. Reed Jr. Nadia Rose Pikai. Duncan Eric Reed. Robin Lynn Pico. Sonia Joanne Pyatt. Janelle Lynn Phillips. Amy Faith Price. Lori Ann Owens. Heather Kathleen Rash. Regina Michelle Peters. Joseph John Pulley. John Anthony Petinato. Ryan Matthew Polonsky. James Soom Young Park. Jamie Pamela Ross. Tao T. Pham. Robert Lloyd Riley. Adam Drew Pickersgill. Michael John Poirier. Vishal Sanmukh Petigara. Adele N. Ramjet. Gwen Gockley. Carolyn Wynn Quatch. Philip John Gerard. Shona Mary Riley. Laura Grace Glorioso. Deborah Alice Pruitt. Stephanie Ann Gilman. Megan Hope Ransom. Paul Adam Gontars. Catherine Ann Rambo. Corinne Nicole Grease. Mark Allen Rayner. Michelle Gluski. Dawn Lynn Rambo. Timo Golnick. Jacek Vinicius Bonk. Russell James Gresh. Rebecca Susan Sands. Stephen Brian Gibson. Megan Marie Malik. Katrina Michelle Gianetto. Torrin Zadok Howe. Daniel Gorman. Jennifer Lynn Roberts. Melissa Lynn Petter. Caroline Hannah Thomas. Christy Pack. Ryan Peter Lobo. Meena Patel, Debranda Cheney Giles, Pratap D. Patel, Najula Marie Jackson, Lori Ann Herbert, Douglas Priest, Melissa Marie Jeffers, Christopher T. Powers, Ronald Anthony Gerhardt, Rodney Joseph Pitt, Jason Barry Gibson, Roy David Prosser, Joseph Glenn, Mohammed Umar Robin, Michael Alexander Gorley, Cody E. Rayner, Evan Ryan Genn, Tina Platt, Michael Allen Garnett, Donald Michael Lee, Lisa Elizabeth Grazer, Antonino S. Maggio Jr., Nicole Renee Grote, Sarah Helen McKenzie, Charles Joseph Grove, Dara Nicole Lustry, John Joseph Graham Jr., Tara Marie Machine, Patrick Loyal Griffith, Leslie Colleen Leiter, Todd Thomas Guthrie, Courtney Ann Maloney, Ari David Gutkin, Carrie Julaine Mayer, Thomas Howard Giles Jr., Jamie Lynn Leatherman, Joel Curtis Jenkins Jr., Gabriel Liberto, Carmen Joseph Ionelli III, Brian Michael Lukansky, Jody T. Johnson, Jose Carlos Lugo, Emily Brooks Huber, Adam Michael Lutz, Kristen Heather Hill, Robert Christopher Monero, James Ryan Hibbsman, Jonathan Henry Reese, Eric George Hirschberg, Daniel Francis Peekle, Fuang Lan Ho, Michael Andrew Sag, Barrett Richard James, Ronnie Lynn Elick, Rael E. Jones, Rebecca Ann Fink, John Andrew Hurst, Lisa Marie Fendo, Derek Anthony Imperial, Jennifer Carol Fredericks, Garrett Hall, Jennifer Lynn Emmerich, Son Hei Jenny Hong, Lauren Elaine Frederick, Mimi Young Hong, Megan Lynn Logan, Melissa Ann Howley, Stuart Aaron Lepotin, Selena Nicole Hopkins, David James McMahon, Kelly Ann DeBow, John Jin Lim, Susan Marie Delp, Min Chul Lee, Nicole Christina DeBise, Michael William Leonard, Olivia Tennille Donaldson, Bin Lee Luong, Jeffrey Michael Donis, Hannah Young Lee, Rashard Tomar Davis, Sung Chul David Lee, Ryan Reed Delp, Angie Bo Lee, Jeffrey Eden Dietrich, Jeffrey Russell Elko, Jason Wade Dodson, James Joseph Evans III, Shirav Dahlia, Jeffrey Paul Frank, Shannon Renee Dugan, Patrick Robert Eaton, Angela Christie DiDonato, Jeffrey Richard Earl, Kathy Jo Hughes, Stephanie Marie Gakid, Young Jin Jin, Kristen Galloway, Joseph Aaron House, Young Gail Garfield, Carl Matthew Howe, James Michael Garner Jr., Nicholas Michael Tarnowski, Ann Elizabeth Garfield, Matthew James Rader, Melissa Marie Gallu, Christopher James Dolan, Jason M. Friel, David J. Domsick, Michael Andreas Friedman, Colin J. Devine, Elizabeth Ann Fisher, Patrick W. Downey, Joshua Florentino, Peter Eric Doorley, Jonathan Edward Forbes, Megan Michelle Dowling, Iran Curtis Frazier, Lauren Claire Doherty, Amanda Trong Nguyen, Katie Lynn Dams, Trung Ton Nguyen, Carrie Ann Driscoll, Joanne Laura Nassif, Joanna Marie Jekon, Maveen Moedin, Jamie Michelle Detweiler, Laura Lee Moyer, Alyssa Michelle Ditzler, April Lynn Myrick, Mihir Doshi, Sean Dennis Murray, Stephen Victor Dudley, Nathan Paul Mills, Wendy DeHaven, Michael David Neff, Adam Ronald Sipp, Laura Jeanette Neal, Stephanie Ann Sylvestra, John Joseph O'Brien, Gretchen E. Smith, Frances Bernadette Metra, Gretchen Marie Sibley, Shannon Denise Miller, Morgan Whitney Stoffer, Darren William Morgan, Melanie Leah Sloboda, Amy Christine Nace, Kelly Grace Snow, Amanda Lee Nasuti, Tony Marie Sorrentino, Michael D. Moore, Amy Finn, Sophia Althea Williams, Cheryl Christine Skrzat, Virginia Denise Weber, Audrey Lynn Blaze, William Wayne Weber Jr., Tracy Ann Senich, Brooke Allen Williams, James Robert Ellinger Jr., Nicole Sophia Wessner, Jessica Claire Moulton, Melissa Lynn Woody, Karen Ann Callahan, Matthew A. Yost, Nancy Elizabeth Neves, Dawn Marie Wiley, Brendan Colin Quinn, Matthew Yarrow, Jeffrey P. Spaniel, Timothy Moan Jr., Amy Kathleen Silfies, Daniel Adam Nicholson, James E. Sparenga Jr., Lawrence Juan Nash, Erin Margaret Slocum, John F. Marasco, Janae Ann Strader, Matthew T. Morgan, Anita Renee Steingrubel, Daniel K. O'Brien, Jenny G. Shore, J. Kevin Mooney, Nicole Michelle Spachowski, William Anthony Zadell, Eric C. Straub, George Francis Zisk III, Jeffrey Shrimpton, Marissa Elizabeth Widman, Kathleen Slakta, Timothy Ian Williams, James Robert Siffel, Jennifer Joanne Williams, Kenneth Charles Smith, T. Jonathan Woodburn, Sean Robert Stendall, June Kathleen Young, Andrew Thomas Lee, Arthur Yee, Adam Sultan Khan, Audrey Lorraine White, Archit A. Knight, Kevin Dennis Wharton, Jennifer Rebecca Fetter, Abigail Wright Watson, Carrie A. Sarnosinski, Nina Wessel, Michelle Ann Grabowski, Amanda Louise Wilfong, Amy Lynn Harple, In Jung Yoon, Heather Lee Simpkins, Jason Scott Weintraub, Tony K. Yun, Carl Anthony Warner, Mario James Valenti, Perry Allen Shields, Mark Lawrence McClellan, Daniel Jason Saita, Stephanie Ann Wilkie, Aaron Joseph Schwartz, Allison Rhodes Tweedy, Jeffrey C. Shea, Anna Maria Davitt, Eric Shannon, Julie M. Goddard, David H. Schoenfeld, Lois S. On, Michael Francis Salemno, Stephen Eric Bonner, Thomas W. Sexton, Jill Jean Delancey, Gwen Marie Shope, Grant G. Harris, Brian Joseph Sharkey, Mary Ann Jean Marjoram, Carrie Ann Schmillip, Brian John Martin, Catherine Ray Schrader, Rose Marie Messina, Malik Scott, Matthew Cantano, Adriana Severini, Laura Catherine Batenik, Theodore T. Shirba, Leslie Nicole Paulson, Dennis M. Shannon, Amy Marie Grebe, Rudolph William Cerrone, Amy Marie Butler, Jennifer Michelle Schroeder, Jeffrey Schoonover, Robert Andrew Selb, Amit Kumar Sen, Sean Samuel Sealer, Robert James Schwegler.
Ladies and gentlemen, class of 1995, there's just a few more things that we need to do. I'd like to announce those who are graduating this evening in absentia: Robert Allen Bodo Jr., Michael H. Julia, Rakesh B. Patel, Rakal G. Patel, Mary Rose Slater, and Lisa Ruth Snyder. Also graduating tonight, posthumously, is Joshua Mark Nielsen. Accepting the diploma on behalf of Joshua is Mrs. Wisniewski, Joshua's mother, and his brother, Adam.
Class Treasurer, Holly Melissa Auten. Class Secretary, Jamie Lee Butler. Class Vice President, Jeremy William James. Class President, Patricia Ann Kieselhorst.
Just prior to the conferring of the diplomas, we'd hope that you'd appreciate that we went a little more quickly than we would like to have, but we wanted to make sure that we did it before that 38 minutes and that we have and the 42 minutes before it rained. And unfortunately, it rained just enough to mess up my hair. Yeah, right. It took them a little longer up there than it did us. I'd ask that Dr. Persing come forward, please, and confer the diplomas. Following the conferring of diplomas, Jeremy James, Vice President of the class, will be up for the changing of the tassel.
If you will rise, please. By the authority vested in me as Superintendent of Schools and the laws of Pennsylvania, I hereby declare you, class of 1995 North Penn, to be official graduates with all the rights and privileges thereof. Congratulations.
Now, in honor of our graduation from North Penn High School, we will now change the tassels.
Ladies and gentlemen, 628 of America's finest, the 1995 class, North Penn High School. Thank you, thank them, and congratulations to all of us. And this, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the ceremonies for this evening. We thank you and we thank them. Feel free to come out on the field and congratulate those youngsters. Thank you very much.
you will, but nah. You will. You will. I know you would pick it up, like, at the end. Ground. Soft.
My God, I fell.
We were like all the way up there. We're like, because we didn't get any seats over here. Where's your mom? Is your mom here?
Yeah, she's somewhere around here.
Okay, you're not even looking for her?